Hello, everybody. Welcome to We're Smarter Than This, a Star Wars review series. I am one of your hosts, Bronson Fiore, joined by the always awesome Aaron Reynolds.
I'm starting to think we're not as smart as we think we are.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it?
Just
No, I'm pretty sure.
the things we have done to ourselves the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe we were smarter than this.
I think that after what I'm about to say about this movie, there's probably gonna be a fucking riot.
I am excited to talk about these specifically because as of right now, I'm looking at my current ranking for the movies, and I don't know where I'm going to place these still.
I know exactly where I'm placing Phantom and Attack,
Okay,
but
today.
today we're doing the Phantom Menace. I feel like to discuss this movie, you need to talk about a little bit of the history behind it. Just a
Okay,
little bit, because,
sure.
to this day, there are man children
Mm-hmm.
who discuss this movie and fucking just rag on it. Like it
Sure.
is the fucking. Like it is a crime against cinema. It is a crime against their childhood. It is a
Mm-hmm.
crime in general.
Mm-hmm.
And after rewatching it, um, this movie is better than Return of the Jedi.
Huh.
This movie is better than Return of the Jedi.
I am wondering. I need to talk through scene by scene, but I understand what you're saying. Uh,
I was generally more entertained the entire way through.
okay.
It's paced a lot better. Uh, they don't do too much of the split off story thing, and I think that helps it a lot.
Eh,
I think that Jar Jar, while fucking unbelievably annoying,
dude.
is not much worse than the Ewoks. Is worse, but not much worse.
I don't know.
Um, but all right, so we'll take it scene by scene.
Yeah, yeah. If we could take it scene by scene, that would help me a lot.
They
I
op-
remember. I just want to say that this was like my first. This was like for us the first Star Wars movie where the movies were being released for the first time, and we were there to be, going to school and talking with friends about it rather than it just being a part of culture.
Yeah, and at the time I loved this movie.
Yes, I did too. I
Um,
loved Qui Gon Jinn.
Qui Gon was the shiz.
Qui Gon was great.
I loved the pod racing.
Pod racing was great.
Yeah. But anyway, so it opens up on this trade ship with two Jedi's going to meet with to
The
have
Viceroy,
the Viceroy for negotiations.
who, correct me if I'm wrong, seemed to be drawing on slight Asian stereotype
A little
in
bit.
terms of sound and just which kind of becomes a slight theme in certain parts of the movie,
Once again, a little bit, yes.
which I feel like is somewhat unintentional, but because it's unintentional, it just seems weird. But anyway, that was weird. Anyway, so yeah, so going to visit the Viceroy, who have set up a blockade to stop resources going into Naboo,
Mm-hmm.
because the Trade Federation. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I have to pull this up. The beginning of episode 1 sets the tone so well for what the new movies are really kind of about. Where, like, you see A New Hope and Empire and all that, and it's this great battle of good and evil and sword fighting and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the beginning of Phantom Menace, I'm pulling up my Disney Plus right now.
Okay.
Um,
Go
I
on.
need to see this. It goes Star Wars, and it starts scrolling the Phantom Menace, and it scrolls, and the first paragraph or the first bit: turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute. Ah, shit. Um,
Look, Aaron, it's very important.
well, so that's the thing. That is like the whole theme of like when people talk mess about this movie, I think it's partially because there's a few different reasons, but partially because we have to remember that the stakes had to get high for 4, 5, and 6 to be impactful, and so by going backwards, we have it like at everything's cool, and like the big thing is the big dispute is taxation of trade routes.
But yeah, that's how in life that shit happens too. Though is one little fucking thing leads to two countries at war, and then there you go.
Right, which again, seeing this movie again from front to back as an adult compared to when I saw this when I was 9.
Let's see, yeah,
maybe 8 or 9.
You would have been 8. I was 9. So
yeah,
you would have been 8.
So like, reading this meant nothing to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, reading this as a little kid, you're just like, it's the Star Wars crawl.
It's Star Wars. It's crawling. The music's going.
Which
is cool.
Yeah, and then it opens up with a pretty good action bit. Like, they immediately are like, Jedis are... There's a lot of them now. Like, they just sent 2 to do this thing.
Yeah, no, it was just 2 of them. Seeing Obi-Wan as this young, sort of naive guy going in with a lightsaber was interesting.
With his little rat tail.
Yeah, his little rat tail in the back.
The Jedi rat tail.
How many kids wore the rat tail because of Star Wars in the prequel era?
Oh.
I knew some kids. I could never do it because my hair grew so slow.
My parents would never allow it to happen. And good on them.
I don't know.
Thank you, Mom.
That was the time to do it.
I
think these days most kids don't care anymore. But I don't know.
About like Star Wars?
No, if you like style, hairstyle, you just did whatever. Who cares?
I don't know about that. I'm sure kids are still little pukes and bully people.
Well, absolutely, but in terms of like hair, if you pull it off with confidence.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's anything.
But that's all. Yeah.
But I mean, like, how many little kids actually have that to the point of where they can avoid, where they can duck being bullied?
You're right.
Is the question.
I just remember during this time, it was cool to bring your lightsaber to school. That's what I fucking did.
Oh yeah.
But anyway.
What color was your lightsaber?
It was green. It was Qui-Gon's.
Nice. Mine was blue.
Nice.
Yep.
But so yeah. So what was cool about this opening scene was not just, it was a bunch of things, but it was like seeing young Obi-Wan, different colored C-3PO model, and brought out the lightsabers right away.
Right, exactly.
Like, just immediately. Because the first 3 movies, they make it very reserved.
Right, well, yeah, you don't really start seeing lightsabers happen, a lot until Return, and then in this, it's just like, whenever we can, baby.
Right.
When can we use a force power? When can we use a lightsaber?
Oh my god.
Let's make it happen.
And they start from the beginning.
Well,
like, here's what a lightsaber can do against an armored door. Here's like some really advanced saber technique that clearly someone put a lot of thought into.
Here is like shielded droids. Here's like all this stuff that's you've probably had questions about for decades.
I saw Obi-Wan Kenobi do his like force hand scene, and I thought of like 5 different gifs at once, which was really good. And then they had their little force speed movement where the droidicas came up and they just went. The speed dash thing. I was like, what the hell? A lot of good stuff in there. I liked that. Then they snuck aboard the ships.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing, was the revealing of the droids. The new droids that were going to be the new...
antagonist for at least the next 2
the
films.
Antagonist army for at least
those
2.
Like 2.5, we'll call it.
Yeah. Which... I don't know how I feel about them. I always thought droidicas looked cool.
I thought the droidicas looked cool. I thought the Tier 1 BattleBots looked stupid as hell. even as a kid.
Right. But they seemed that was the difference between them and the stormtroopers. Was the stormtroopers, however incompetent they were, they had this that like Nazi-esque imposing, striking look to them.
It looks dope.
Yeah.
Versus these, which look anything but dope, and then
Right.
also are worse than stormtroopers in level of competence, probably.
Yep.
So.
But so so there was that whole thing. They were God's lightsaber fighting, and then they're on. They weren't on Naboo. They were on Naboo.
No, they landed on Naboo, and they find Jar Jar, and they're like,
man, Jar Jar comes in, and fuck that guy. Like,
he's very fucking annoying.
I went into this movie thinking like, I'm not gonna be that guy. I want to just try and concentrate on the movie. Oh man, Jar Jar as a character.
I thought I was gonna be that guy, and I actually was able to ignore him pretty successfully, outside of a few scenes.
Well, right. He does have some integral pieces later on in the movie, but like that first half, I'm like, just guns in general are not. I don't like them.
Yeah, same.
And the whole is a thing that they do is like, okay.
Especially the leader one.
Yeah.
His fat cheeks just. So.
The language that they use, and that they're clearly involving him for comic relief. While we're dealing with all this other nonsense. And you need to have some form of comic relief when you're doing an adventure like this. But
I guess
I just think they could have done it better. Well, because you had like C-3PO and Empire like given the odds and being a little worrywart and
right. No, exactly.
Sometimes that was funny.
There were multiple cases where like C-3PO and R2 were hilarious, especially when like R2 manipulated C-3PO.
Yep.
Great moments came from that. Great moments.
And again, that was a good thing about Star Wars was it was a grand adventure, but then you had little bits of comic relief in between big moments, dramatic moments.
Right. No, which was a key. That was a key piece.
Yeah. So they had to have something in there. Jar Jar was not it.
I were a couple of moments with him that made me like tee-hee, laugh a little bit.
I remember as a kid, his "excuse me" line made me laugh real hard.
That makes sense. That sounds
as a kid, yeah, exactly.
That sounds
and
like
that's why it was included. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds very childlike and whimsical.
Yep,
I don't agree with that.
Okay, so they get Jar Jar. Jar Jar leads them to the gun hideout place. Or not their hideout place, but their
city. And they're like, city. What the fuck you doing here? You've been banned.
He sorta accidentally crashed a ship into the head Gun's place. Mm-hmm. Said, I'm banished.
I'm not allowed to be there.
Okay.
But
then they get a ship out. Qui-Gon totally used some Jedi mind trick, if I remember, on the head guy.
I believe so, and then they get a ship, and there's always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish happens.
Yep.
That whole scene's fine. I'm not crazy about it, but it's not bad either.
My thing with this is this just feels a lot better paced than Return. Like, the entire time I'm, like, engaged, and, like, at no point did I feel like they jump from set piece to set piece or thing from thing enough to where I'm like, it's still like engaged. Versus like parts of Return I just kind of clicked off for.
Well,
mentally.
Yeah. I guess.
Anyway, go
I
on.
don't know. So, all right, so they get through the water thing, and that was fun. But Jar Jar being in it ruined it for me. but it was fine. I love that they basically did the C-3PO scene where C-3PO got shut off, and then Qui-Gon put Jar Jar to sleep. It was very funny. So then
I like how multiple moments Qui-Gon just gets him to shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Grabs his tongue once.
Yeah. Which is fine. Yeah.
But go on.
Then so then they escape. What happens after that? They go back to where it was Naboo's city, wherever the queen was at.
The capital of Naboo. What's it called that? I forget its actual name.
Because then the Trade Federation took it over, didn't it?
Yeah, they did. They landed, and they're like, you will make these negotiations.
Right.
And then Qui-Gon and them show up and like, oh, hey, we gotta escape. We gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta dip.
Which, yep.
They all escape, but something gets messed up, so they have to stop on Tatooine.
Oh, right. The hyperdrive broke.
Right.
And so they had to stop at a nearby planet, and apparently Tatooine was planet that they didn't even know.
Well, yeah, it wasn't in. They like Qui-Gon knew it's like the Hutts control that one.
Right.
And it's just like, well, would you rather they're not going to look for her here? So
exactly.
Don't worry about it.
Yep.
And then Qui-Gon points out, yeah, it's a perfect city if you're just looking to hide out. Perfect planet.
Right.
And then they run into Guido. What kind of you trying to be some kind of Jedi?
That guy.
He's funny.
Can we talk about how that man is responsible in partially for creating Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Because Qui-Gon totally tries to gamble for Anakin and his mother, and he's like, "No pod is worth 2 slaves, not even close." And then he had to pick. And then all of a sudden, the rest of these movies happen.
Yep. Guado is responsible for the Empire. And he also ends up homeless.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, fucking you and your part shop went to shit, asshole.
Yeah. So there was also like the whole thing with the Queen, which I gotta say, some of the costume design in episode 1 is some real interesting stuff compared to what was going on, in the original.
Yeah, because this is a galaxy at peace. So.
It's meant to be like a thriving galaxy.
Yeah,
and so it's really interesting to see them go crazy with this.
That's why everything's so clean. Everything looks normal versus the main series, which everything just looks fucked.
Yep.
All the time.
Except for Han Solo, he looks great.
Yeah. In the beginning, the insides of the Millennium Falcon look like shit.
Well, yeah.
So.
But it flies good. That's all that matters.
Yes.
So.
Very similar to a car I used to own.
So. They head down to Tatooine. They take the handmaiden of the queen or whatever with them. I also think Qui-Gon in this whole section of the movie is the reason I've always kind of low-key wanted to wear a poncho all the time. Just because it looks cool.
It does look cool.
It does look cool, but it's hard to pull off now, I would think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Especially in city life.
Oh yeah, unless you live in a city where it rains all the time.
Maybe.
Cough, Seattle.
Yeah. So they get on Tatooine. They go to find a part for the hyperdrive, hyperdrive generator or whatever.
Hyperdrive, yeah. It's just like Imperial credits will do fine. No, they won't.
No, they won't. You think you're some kind of Jedi waving your hand like that?
Oh Lord.
And apparently, it doesn't work because of his race.
Yeah, they're immune to that. The only thing that they bite on is money.
Money.
Their greed race. It's like the goblins in Warcraft. Just their greed race, a treasure race.
Yeah, So, another kind of slightly problematic character. But,
Yeah, I don't think.
again,
I don't think they're. I don't think that one's a racial stereotype. I think that one's just.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to reference any race.
I don't think they're trying to reference any of these. I don't think that was their intent. I think they unintentionally did this.
Okay, what race do you think they're stereotyping?
The Jewish,
the Jewish
like
faith?
caricatures from like 30s.
I don't know, because I've never heard, like, I've never seen that as a Jewish accent.
I don't know about the accent. I don't know about that.
I think that maybe, yeah, okay.
I don't think that comes close to anything a Jewish person sounds like. That's very much an alien voice to me, or New Jersey. I don't know.
Yeah, like we'll bring back a friend of ours from Jersey and see checks out, play his voice.
I don't know. I don't know where gruff people come from. They're from everywhere.
Yeah, but no, I don't think they're making a Jewish.
I don't think they're trying to. I don't think with any of these. I don't think they're trying to, which is what makes it more perplexing.
And they're just trying to make a stingy race.
Well, okay, there's that, and then there's the guns, and then there's the whatever the race the viceroy is.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is it's not intentional. It's just weird when you, especially as now that I'm watching this as an adult with the knowledge of that in the past, seeing these is like, huh.
Didn't even register for me. Other than the fact that his voice is funny.
I've heard it talked about in some places, so that's what made me think of it.
Okay. Well.
But, so yeah, this is where we meet Anakin.
Little, tiny baby boy Anakin.
Yeah.
Child Vader.
Yep. And, yeah, I don't know.
I think this kid did a fine job.
He did fine.
Like, I thought, like, a lot of people shat on the kid. I'm just like, it's a child actor.
I don't think he gets an Oscar or anything, but whatever. Worked well enough, and then so then they find out they don't have the money for it. They got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did they end up?
They used the credits to buy a pod, like the credits they had to buy a pod. I believe.
No, it was Anakin's pod.
Right, but it still needed to be worked on heavily.
Okay. I thought Anakin had got it taken care of, but I'm not sure on that.
But then they have a working pod, and they're like, hey, if bet all your money on him, if he wins, then you'll give us X, Y, and Z.
Give us the stuff. You get all of the winnings minus the cost of the parts for our ship. If we lose, you get the ship.
Yep. And also, we want Anakin, double or nothing.
Yep. They tried to get his mom.
Yep.
They tried.
But no pod is worth 2 slaves.
I guess.
Apparently.
Whew. So, anyway, there's sandstorm. Can't make it to their ship. They go see Anakin's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And C-3PO.
You can see C-3PO without body plate on.
As R2-D2 says, naked.
Yep. Funny.
My parts are showing. So then they have dinner. Qui-Gon starts to catch on that Anakin has the makings to be a Jedi.
Force sensitive.
Yes.
They ruin the Force.
No, they don't.
You can apparently test to see if you're Force sensitive.
Yes.
It's not just everyone can do it.
So I wish it was that everyone could do it. I feel like there is still a case to be made there, but there are some people who are more talented through genetic means.
You can test that with midichlorians.
That's my belief, anyway.
Also, Anakin is a Jesus baby.
Also, Anakin is a Jesus baby? I don't know about that one. That was an interesting choice.
The Force impregnated her.
What?
That is the theory.
No, I mean that's what the movie says basically. Like what?
The Force loves to get it on.
I hope somehow 9 like finds a way to explain it. Like, how does that even work?
The Force has a will of its own, and its will was to get busy one night.
It's just such a weird thing. They never go back to it.
Never
like,
reference it again.
It just happened. I can't explain it.
Metaphor for Christ, I guess. But
I guess. Well, because it's the chosen one and the prophecies and all that.
But I don't know. I don't think Jesus turned into the evil overlord of the galaxy.
Well, again, that's what makes it such a compelling story.
What are we saying? When Jesus comes back during the rapture, he's gonna be wearing all black and murdering the fuck out of everyone?
I think Jesus has turned evil, and it's when he decides to turn back to good. That's when the second coming happens.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a weird thing. Anyway, we fast forward. We're trying to get. We work out the deal with the pod racing bit, and we work out that we're gonna try to gamble for Anakin's freedom. Jar Jar gets his hand stuck in the pod racer because he has no purpose other than to be clumsy in this movie.
Other than comedic relief.
Yep.
That's what he's there for.
Yep. Anakin's working on his pod. Okay, so then we get to the pod racing scene.
This is sick. Pod racing is rad as fuck.
From the beginning, when they're like introducing the racers and the crowd is just losing their mind and there's music playing and the commentators are going, ugh.
No,
they introduce everyone individually, despite the fact that like 80% of the drivers no one cares about and no one will again.
Yeah, but
we're doing this.
But yeah, no, they made that scene alone when I was a child won my heart.
It's so good,
and even now it's fantastic.
Yes.
Even now, it's a great scene.
They make you go through all 3 laps. They don't like fast forward through anything. These are the 3 laps. We're going to show you that this same shot again of this one canyon bit, but it's because it's lap 2, not lap 1. Don't you know how races work?
It almost makes a very good case for them to do like a Star Wars sports show or movie.
It's certainly sports centered. I'm sure they could.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Apex is a sport in the world of Titanfall.
You know what this means? What I'm hearing right now is instead of trying to get remasters done, what we should be doing is be creating an esports pod racing game. How cool would that be?
EA, esports make a lot of money, I'm just saying.
Come on. I would totally watch and follow pod racer esports.
Who would be the top tier racer? Sebulba?
Oh, they're like 10 right now, whoever they are.
Yeah.
The top racer?
Yeah.
It would definitely be a Sebulba.
Yeah.
All the top 5 racers would be Sebulba.
Just all.
Not one Anakin. No one ever races Anakin.
No one. Everyone hates him.
All the newbies play Anakin.
Yeah, because it's like super good if you're new, but has like serious problems at high level.
That guy that blows up because it never actually starts. He's actually like number 8 in the world. The thing is, you have to know how to repair the ship because it breaks easily. But as long as you keep the ship well maintained, it's the fastest one.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. So, yeah, pod racing seems fantastic.
We just
Tusken Raiders are just shooting at people.
We created a really cool design doc for a Star Wars game, and no one's going to use it.
Yep.
Great.
Come on. There's so much you could do. Crash scenes are great. I like that they just have Tusken Raiders shooting at people, and the commentator is like, "Oh, it seems like the Tusken Raiders are out."
Oh, I like how the planet is so savage that they're just used to having like, here's this group of marauding pirate people. They're just shooting at our racetrack, eh?
Well, I mean, they have Jabba the Hutt like starting the race, so you know.
Well, yeah, but that's the Hutt clan and their whole shtick.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just
I like how he falls asleep in the middle of the race.
He falls asleep, but like in the middle of it, and he's like dead tired and like doesn't even care about who finished at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's the end of that.
Uh,
So Anakin wins, amazingly, because he's Anakin Skywalker. He's the chosen one.
best pilot in the galaxy.
He has 2 emotions when pod racing, and those are his 2 emotions, and he switches between the 2, and that's fine.
Once again, child actor. He did.
No. You also make weird facial expressions when you're deeply concentrating in sports.
Oh yeah, no, like
Very real thing.
Just,
so
yeah, no, dude, go.
I will attribute it to that.
Yeah, just. You also do that in fighting games too. It's fun.
Oh, I believe it.
I cannot tell you how many pictures have been taken of me doing this.
Yep. Yep. So then we get to the heartbreaking scene where we have to tear Anakin away from his mom.
His mama, his dear mama.
Really hard. Anakin even comes back and says he just can't do it. And his mom sends him away. And she goes, are we going to see each other again? And he's like, I hope so. Yes. He's like, then we will.
Knowing what we know later.
Yeah. So
you will, technically.
So that happens. Music plays. Darth Maul.
Yeah, fuck.
Darth Maul made an appearance or 2 before this scene, but this scene's where we really...
If you want to talk about a character people love just because of his design...
Yeah.
And his design is sick as hell.
He's
Darth
just
Maul.
crazy.
I mean,
he was crazy to look at when he faded in, when Darth Sidious was talking about stuff, and then Darth Maul just fades in and is like, this is my apprentice. It's like, what the fuck's that dude's thing? Why is his face like that? Why are his eyes like that?
That's just a race in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You find out about, like, in Clone Wars, the show, you find out about his brother. And you find out... Yeah, he has a brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course it does. So we get to see some great lightsaber action between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
They get away. They're getting their hyperdrive fix. Here's Coruscant. That crazy chrome ship is landing. I love their ship.
The ships from Coruscant, or not Coruscant, Naboo look really cool because they look like goddamn Star Trek future ships.
What it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We get some exposure, some longer exposure to Palpatine as a member of the government, saying that we need to have a chancellor or whoever with more power, that the bureaucracy of government is getting in the way of us taking action. Like, you see, like, pretty
they lay it on thick early.
They do, and like being a kid, just didn't think about it.
Yeah,
but I was not exposed to a lot of that.
You're just like politics, boring. Like
politics.
Sword
that guy's
wizard,
got some fancy hair.
Like, give me my fucking space wizard with a laser sword, please.
Like, right after this, they go to the Jedi Temple, and you see Yoda again, and you see Mace Windu hanging out, and
Mr.
all of a sudden you're re-engaged.
Yeah, no, they introduce you to the Jedi Council and this new way they're doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen so many Jedi all in one room?
Yeah. Not for long, you won't.
So yeah, and then you see more stuff going on with the government, which is just a bunch of discs, and then they float around, and the people that are floating are the ones that are talking and controlling the conversation, and then they return.
Do you think that's how our Senate will work in that year?
No, we can't.
Our Senate can't be mature enough to handle a floating disc.
I don't think they can maintain the kind of technological growth to eventually come up with floating pods.
Oh,
I don't think so. I don't think that's happening.
Sad.
Yeah. But this is when they do a vote of no confidence for the Chancellor that was on Naboo's side, but they also wanted to do things the right way, which the right way takes time, and time was not what they had. So Padme or the Queen was just like, I vote no confidence because we need someone to act now. And I believe it was by the end of the movie, Palpatine was chosen to be the leader with more power.
Yep.
This couldn't go wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Nope. And it won't go so bad that they have to make 3 future movies about it.
Or 6.
Yep. Or 8.
Or yeah, let's be honest. Real quick, do you think they're gonna keep going in 3s, trilogies?
Probably.
I would think so, right? So they test Anakin's Force ability, and he's very strong. Also, I just want to say, there was a point where they tested the midi-chlorian count, and Obi-Wan goes, "It's over 20,000." Which I'm surprised that did not become more meme-worthy.
Yeah, we should try and expose that. We should try and get credit for that, yeah. Get credit for that meme.
It's a good one. It's a good one. His midi-chlorian count's over 20,000. It's a lot. It's going to be better than 9,000 Kakarot points. Anyway, Saiyan points. So, yeah, they test Anakin, but Yoda senses lots of fear in Anakin.
For his mom.
That makes it like a very scary proposition to train someone who's so force sensitive, but also so open to emotions and being vulnerable. So Qui-Gon wants to train him. Yoda says, "You've got Obi-Wan." Qui-Gon says, "Obi-Wan's grown enough." And Obi-Wan's like, "I am?"
I don't know shit. What are you talking about? Why are you lying to them?
So yeah, eventually, let's see. So they're still unsure. And then we start going towards the final battle bit, preparations and all that fun stuff. I'm trying to remember what happened here with the invasion, the Trade Federation or whatever was going to attack.
So they go back to Naboo.
Yeah.
And they basically retake. Well, they go to get the Gungans.
So yeah, that was the thing is they didn't have an army. The Gungans did have an army, which is what revealed Jar Jar's ultimate purpose in the movie. Was to be ambassador for Naboo, to unite the Naboo people and the Gungans together.
Just boom, feel the love.
Yep, feel the love. Which was ultimately they came together because, according to the leader of the Gungans, they came together because Naboo said, "We are not smarter than you," and he said, "Okay, you can have our army." Apparently, that was that easy.
I mean, that race does seem stupid and petty.
Well, I mean, like the whole thing was that was an interesting thing. I thought was that like, yeah, they were, and it was shown because Qui-Gon used the mind trick easily right after he said they think we're so dumb. But that doesn't change the fact that eventually you need their help.
Yep.
And we need to live together peacefully. So it doesn't matter if you're actually smarter than them. You can't be an asshole to them. You know, there's a lesson to be taken here. You're going to make enemies of people who could be your friends if you just stop being an asshole.
Oh, Lord.
So that was good. And then I loved the leader of the Gungans made Jar Jar a general, mostly because he united the people, but also like the moment Jar Jar faints from learning he's a general now, like the king's just like laughing his ass off. That was great. Anyway, on to war. So then the final scene begins, which starts as a split of 2, which is the Gun War with the droids, and Naboo, the Naboo people, and the Jedi going after the Viceroy. So I don't know about your thoughts on the whole gun droid battle. I just didn't care.
It was fine. Like that was my. It was very much how I feel the Ewok fight is. Like this is.
It was
fine.
like the Ewok fight where it's like this is fine, but this is by far the conflict I care about less.
Yeah, like, but who cares? Because you have one of the sickest fucking lightsaber fights.
Like you want to talk about moments that made people talk and like gasp out loud in the theater. Was I think it may have been in the trailer, I forget. Was Darth Maul revealing the second blade?
Yeah, just the like, oh shit, okay, has it? This the other side. You're like, holy shit!
Who thought of that? What? You can't do that.
Witchcraft.
Right. So that was a really awesome moment because that started playing.
Duel of the Fates.
Was it Duel of the Fates?
I want to say that's it. I'm hold on. I have that. I have on my phone, so
yeah, of course you do.
I am that nerd. Hold on.
But it was cool. Like the rest of them went off.
Yeah, the Duel of the Fates.
Yep. Like people will say what they want to about.
Yeah, that.
Yep.
That.
People could say what they want to about the music of these movies. But that was an amazing moment.
Yeah, that. There's
them setting up.
There's a lot you can shit on in the prequels. Like, don't get us wrong. It's just this particular song in this particular fight. Nah, son. A+ all around.
Well, what was great was that it was them setting up and preparing, and the anticipation was building. Not only because it was like the big lightsaber battle of the movie, but it was because you knew from the prior scenes in this movie that lightsaber knowledge, use of lightsaber, was much more advanced and complex.
Oh yeah.
And so this was going to be the ultimate showcase of what like the height of lightsaber battles in this time was.
And man, they brought it so
still
hard.
So good.
And like they use the Force in the fight because like Darth Maul needs to get through that door, and he uses the Force power to fling the thing at the door so it opens.
Yep.
And like just
numerous times of jumping up to one platform or falling down to another platform and hanging off a platform, and I don't know. That's still a lot of fun. That was also the start of that fight is when we see the third plot line split, which is Anakin sitting in the ship, and then he's trying to fire on the droidekas, shooting at them, and then accidentally sets it to autopilot and takes off towards space. He did
destroy the droidekas, though.
He destroyed the droidekas and helps the other guys get out and continue moving on. And then him and R2-D2 went to space.
Mission accomplished, little Annie.
To fight the droid control station.
Yeah.
Let's see. So there was lightsaber battle just keeps going and going, and then they get to the weird like laser doors, the 12 laser doors or however many.
And then just patiently waiting.
The patiently waiting bit was actually kind of cool. I still am trying to figure out what those doors were for. I'm sure they're explained somewhere, but as far as the movie's concerned, they're just there.
Yeah.
More of the Naboo gun droid battle where Jar Jar clumsily destroys everyone.
Well, because he gets on a tank and then
then droids surround our rebel friends, and then Anakin accidentally crashes his ship into the inside of the Naboo, not the Naboo, the droid control ship.
Right.
And
they all start fucking him up, and he can't get his ship to start.
Yep. Like everything's going bad for everyone, and it culminates in the scene I don't like to watch the most, which is Obi-Wan getting caught behind the laser door, and then Darth Maul killing Qui-Gon Jinn. In a
Yeah.
good move. It was a real good
Yeah.
move.
No. Just, like, Qui-Gon did not go out like a bitch.
No, that
No.
was a good fight.
Just, and then you have Obi-Wan fight him,
Yep.
and Darth Maul got too cocky.
That was a weird scene to look at afterwards, where, yeah, he jumps over, and then like Darth Maul kind of does nothing because he's just amazed.
Well, yeah, because, like, Darth Maul, like, thinks, like, oh, this kid's Padawan, I have this in the bag.
Maybe,
Because
maybe that's it.
that's part of the whole dark side, is, like, you think that you have the ultimate power at all times. Surprise, motherfucker.
Which is very funny when we watch Anakin later, but you know,
Uh,
yeah. So that happens. I remember that being like a slightly haunting scene for me as a kid. Of you see Darth Maul fall as one, and then he splits into two, and you
oh,
just see the top half like look back at you as like split in two. It's like, oh Jesus Christ.
ugh.
Ugh.
He did live,
Uh,
though.
apparently,
He did
apparently,
live!
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So, that Clone
Ah,
Wars is canon, as is
and then
Rebels.
yeah, then we had Anakin get his ship turned back on, and he, I guess, accidentally uh,
Shot
shot some.
lasers.
Yep,
He shot
in
the power source to the thing.
yep, and then it just started blowing up from the inside,
And
which
they're
had a
like,
good exit scene.
I just like, this is pod racing. Now just,
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
uh,
Yep, there are good scenes.
that's how a
Good line.
10-year-old would act, though. So, I mean,
No, that's fair. I like R2D2. Like I imagine him as like a 30-year-old, like personality, like trying to talk with this 10-year-old. I'm trying. I'm trying. Uh, yeah. Then he destroys the droid control tower. So then the droids all deactivate, and the guns win
mhm.
because they held him off. Qui-Gon says, "Train the boy."
Yep.
Despite the fact that we weren't entirely sure that Obi-Wan was ready to be a Jedi Knight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
So,
yeah, but like after his fight with this, Yoda believes like, okay, you're fucking ready. You beat the dude.
well, yeah, but he also expresses he's ready for him to be a Jedi Knight, but he's still worried about Anakin.
Then you want to know what Yoda should have probably done?
Mm.
Trained him himself.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know what Yoda's schedules is. What is he doing?
I'm pretty sure if someone has the label of chosen one, Yoda can be like, I'll take
That's
some time
fair.
out of my
You know what?
day.
You know what? That is fair. If there's anything I've learned from Dragon Ball Z, it's that Mace Windu should have taught him, because I can't think of any other guy that's a Piccolo ass character than Mace Windu.
And also, Mace Windu dabbled with the dark side, so
So like I remember from old EU, because I read up a bit on Mace Windu because I was really into him for a brief moment. Was he had two different Padawans he tried to teach. This is in the non-canon now. This has
yeah,
been
this is it would be known as the
old.
Legends canon.
Oh, okay,
So
uh,
there's Legends and then there's canon. So go on.
right. So he had two apprentices, and he tried to teach him in his way, and they both fell to the dark side. And so it was just hard. So I imagine trying to teach Anakin, who's already more susceptible to the dark side than it seems like the average Jedi Padawan is. I wonder how well that would have gone.
Then I think you have to. You either need Qui Gon, who's just an off the books motherfucker.
Yes, he is a Captain Picard ass kind of guy, where like I will break the rules, but it's because I am more the Prime Directive than the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
I know what's right. God damn it.
Or you have to go with Yoda, who is literally so strong in the light side of the Force that he had to hide on a planet of pure darkness to hide from the Empire.
Yep.
So, I think, yeah, like, once again, this goes back to, okay, you can't get Qui-Gon because he's dead. I
Right.
think Yoda should have made time.
Yoda's clearly teaching kids classes in episode 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder what the age range for that is. It's funny thinking like as an adult now. It's like, okay, well, so I took some like gym classes. I wonder what his schedule's like. Does he teach? Does he have like a 9 to 5 schedule? Is he meeting with the council at 12:30 before lunch or after lunch?
Well, okay, so let's
And
say
he's got
he's like a preschool teacher, so he's busy till like 1 or 2,
right.
and then like from there, I imagine he has a council meeting at like 2 to like 4,
Yep.
and then like he still has to train as a Jedi himself. So
Yeah, he does that in his off time.
you know,
He's a Jedi. That's not. He's got to envelop his whole life.
So I mean, this goes back to my point of Yoda should have made fucking time. Yoda should have been like, Obi-Wan, I know Qui-Gon wanted you to do this,
Yeah.
but how about you teach all these kids the basics,
Right.
and I go teach the chosen one.
It's funny, especially now that we've also seen 2, because it seems like starting from 1, it's like Obi-Wan's starting his training while he himself is young,
Mm-hmm.
and in 2, it seems like he struggles with the role, and it shows.
Oh yeah, well, it's because Anakin like doesn't like respect him like he would a traditional master.
Right. It's a weird pairing, which makes it all the weirder when you see episode 1 and you see Yoda being like, I don't agree with this, but the council does, so I guess we'll just let it happen.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you could discuss a lot there, but
anyway,
so that happens.
I will say the end of this movie had me really excited for 2,
Okay.
because like they set up like the Sith always come in 2, and
Yep.
there's some heinous shit happening in the Senate.
They show a shot of Emperor Palpatine looking at Qui-Gon Jinn's burning body. Not Emperor, he's not Emperor yet, but you can hear from him talking that anyone who, knows the original trilogy well, this guy's the guy.
Yeah.
So like seeing him's like he just got like a bunch of new power, and so like you're just sitting here thinking about this, and then yeah, there's a little celebration scene where there's peace between the Naboo people and the Guns, and then credits.
Yeah, and they set up. They're just like, all right, who's training the boy? Who's this darkness shit got? Like, I was legit just like, fuck, I'm so excited for the next one.
Yeah,
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
yeah.
And then the next day, I got off work and I popped on Disney Plus and I watched that movie. And
okay.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yes, we will. But we should.
We need to rank them first. So
we need to rank them.
All right, so I'll do mine.
Well, yeah, go ahead and go do yours first because I need to look this over.
My top is Empire.
Okay.
Then I got New Hope.
Okay.
Then I got Phantom Menace.
Okay.
And then I got Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
All right.
Talk about why. I know you already said this a little bit, but I want to see if you can expand on why you would pick 1 over 6.
So I think that they create a far more interesting world. Like, they do a lot of cool world building on, like, this is what a full-ass powered Jedi is.
Yeah.
This is what this shit was when we talk about these mystical space wizards.
Yep.
And pod racing was dope, and it was paced a lot better than Jedi. Jedi had several points in which I just did not give a shit, versus this, where, like, other than the Gungan part of the war, I was generally entertained the entire way through. Yes, Jar Jar sucks. I know, he does suck. But the Ewoks suck too, they just suck a little less.
Right.
It's...
It helps that they don't really actually say anything.
Yeah, that, so that was a thing that happened over time that I was just kind of like, if you're going to hate on both, I feel like the problems in Return of the Jedi get a lot of a free pass because it's linked to the two classics.
Yep.
And I'm not playing that fucking game.
Yeah.
So, and as such, because I'm not playing that same game, I can sit here and tell you that, Return has its moments. Like, the Vader stuff is great. The Emperor stuff is great. But like, that's the only part of that movie, like that and the intro with the Jabba the Hutt's palace, those two parts are the only parts of that movie where I wasn't just being like, okay, let's go. Let's get on with this shit. Versus, like, this, where, like, there was very little of that.
Sure. Now, I'm feeling the same way, but only on my list. And I have it above Return of the Jedi, and I have it before Empire. And I think something that you said rings true for me as well, which is that I just really enjoy the world that they've built. Seeing how they're setting up how Jedi and government work together, seeing how like the whole galaxy worked before everything went to hell. It was just very interesting, and you see how the seeds have been sown for things to start really going bad. But for right now, we're celebrating. We defeated evil for the moment, but everything's been set in place. And then it expands on being a Jedi, it expands on the Force, and expands on a lot of those concepts. Sword fighting has drastically improved in a real cool way. There is a lot of new cool things to be done, but there is anything involving the guns bum me out. In fact, that actually may be my biggest and largest criticism were those scenes. Otherwise, like, I don't know, I actually really enjoyed it. And 5 being 1 iconic and 2 just like scene after scene after scene is perfect. Not perfect, but good, really good.
Right.
Like, it's hard to compete with that. So, 1 is my current number 3.
Okay.
Of the list.
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
All right. So you go 4, 5, 1, 6. I go 5, 4, 1, 6.
All right.
We'll be back tomorrow. Or these might get slightly interrupted. You may get a game cast somewhere in the middle of these.
Maybe.
Yep. All right. Bye, guys.
All right. See you guys.